In NCIS, Leroy Gibbs abides by his own set of rules. Over the years, he has acquired a set of rules that date back to his first wife, Shannon Gibbs, who lost her life in an automobile accident. The prequel series, NCIS Origins, delves into the stories behind his rules, while the flagship gives fans a general idea of what they are about. The prequel series, set a few months after the murders of his first wife and child, follows young Gibbs, Stowell, as he travels to California to serve as an agent for the Navy Investigation Service. Since the main show traces the rules back to '91, it is clear that most of them were not in place at that time, even though the series demonstrates that Gibbs had the rules written down on pieces of paper that he kept in a tin box. Gibbs' rules are explained in some detail in NCIS Origins, but the more intimate ones in the history of the rules are not. Every rule has a backstory, and the show's high point is what inspired Gibbs to write them down. Gibbs breaks one of his own rules in the prequel series by looking into the past. Gibbs is attempting to reconstruct his life just a few months after the murder of his first wife and child. As he works through his grief, he joins the NCIS and investigates local crimes. His box of rules, which are written on pieces of paper, is displayed in the new series. After receiving advice from Shannon, his first wife, to live by his own rules, Gibbs began to write down some of his own. When Franks tries to keep Gibbs off active duty, the episode Bend Don't Break finds him working as a rogue agent. The father of Gibbs is in town. Jackson, who is worried about his son, tells Franks to bench Gibbs in case he tries to act irrationally. Gibbs violates Rule 29, learn to obey before you command, as a result of the sequence of events. In the prequel series, Gibbs' rule is first made public. Given that Gibbs received military training as a soldier, it is clear where this rule came from. The number of rules in Gibbs' box at the time is unclear, but the main show adds Rule 91 to the list. Rule 14's origin story is also found in the Bend Don't Break episode. Don't break the line, bend it. In this episode, Gibbs violates the rules multiple times. He defies Franks's directive and pushes the envelope to support his own stance, which violates the rule, but not enough to qualify as a violation. Gibbs breaks the stop button on the elevator and stops it because there is insufficient evidence to hold his suspect legally. By doing that, he merely bends the rules while his team gathers evidence, not breaking them. Franks also chooses to break the law to ensure that those in need receive what they require after discovering the truth about the case. The origins of Gibbs's work rules have been explained thus far in NCIS Origins, but the more private ones remain unaltered. Gibbs teases that this is a story he doesn't tell at the start of the prequel series, emphasizing her, or Lala Dominguez, who is the protagonist. Gibbs's co-worker and possible love interest is Lala, but in the 1980s, Lala faces many obstacles as a female agent in a male-dominated field. Her efforts are not taken into consideration. Gibbs' book's 12th rule is never date a co-worker. This rule may be related to Lala because he learned most of his rules from difficult life lessons. This rule is probably from a later period because Gibbs was married when the original rules were drafted. In an interview with US Weekly, young Gibbs actor Stowell hinted that Lala might be the cause of Rule 12.